drivers or road users to make sure that they travel with care, but also on officials to ensure that the road infrastructure is up to scratch so as to avoid any casualties on the road. And that's why it's so important to have new roads such as the one that we're standing in front of this morning here in the Morotele local municipality. So to speak to us about the state of roads in general in the Northwest Province, let's speak to Public Works, Roads and Transport MEC, Mr. Raymond Elisha, who joins us now. Sir, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning to you, Ayanda, and good morning to your listeners. Thanks for having us.
Let's start with that holistic look at the roads infrastructure in the Northwest. Tell us a bit more about the current state of play.
I'm sure, Ayanda, you would be aware that we have had several district summits culminating in a provincial summit, which then developed a 10-year plan insofar as road infrastructure is concerned. We were, of course, a bit concerned about, not a bit, but very concerned about the state of our roads in the past 5 years. We can report now quite confidently that we're doing 19 roads that are currently under construction. 4 of those are these ones that we are handing over today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. We hope that we would have finished all 19 roads by the end of the financial year, that is the 31st of March next year. But it ties in the bigger scheme of things in the sense that for you to have development taking place in any province, in any country, you would need those things that would be in a position to actually make sure that the economy is actually initiated, particularly because we're a rural province, that we would build decent roads that will be connecting rural people to your urban hubs and to your places of employment, and create employment wherever those people happen to find themselves, because they can't move. We don't accept this thing of them moving from point to point in seeking jobs and seeking survival just simply because there is no infrastructure where they live. This infrastructure that we're doing, and in particular in rural roads, we're doing it quite deliberately to ensure that economic activity takes place right where the people are without necessarily having them to move into urban areas. But this specific road that we're opening today here is actually providing a link to these rural areas, to the urban centers. Actually, it links you up to Mawopana, Arankua, and the main road leading up to Pretoria. So it actually makes it easy for the people here to do commercial work and to actually engage with one another in the villages and to be in a position to access the urban centers.
I'm so glad you touched on that, because it ties in the greater scheme of things. If you're going to build a shopping center here or early childhood development center or whatever form of development that you're initiating, you have to have the roads on which the construction vehicles will travel, on which the scholar transport will travel, etc. So it's a building block to something greater. Tell us a bit more about that something greater that you are making, the other different projects that Public Works is involved in.
Yes, it's not only Public Works. Actually, these roads and the road infrastructure in the province is supposed to tie in with the whole bigger scheme of things insofar as the special infrastructure project and program is concerned. For example, on this road, we're also connecting to a huge water project that is actually supposed to ensure that people in the surrounding villages get access to water. Now, if you have that big water plant coming in the same area, you need to have transportation there. We're also looking at our rail network. We're looking at our 2 airports, and I can say the plans are quite advanced, and we are moving in particular with the Mafikeng airport quite in an advanced stage, so as to relieve our roads from the pressure of the trucks that go into Namibia, that goes into Botswana, to ensure that there is alternative means of transportation. But that is not the only projects that we are actually doing as the provincial government in conjunction with national government. We're also looking at rural sanitation, because we are a rural province, and for many years we have pretended we're not a rural province. We have pretended we are an urban province, but reality is that we only have 4 towns or cities in the province, and the large part of the province is actually rural, and therefore we need to react and be in a position to service those communities that are rural. We are actually in the majority in the province in making sure that we do not do projects in an isolated manner. That this project should not be an island on its own. It should tie in with other infrastructure development projects which will bring a better life to our people, which will make sure that there is employment for our people, which will also make sure that business would be attracted to come to these rural areas, would be attracted to come to the Northwest Province and begin to do business in the Northwest Province without worrying about the state of our roads, without worrying about connectivity and all those type of things.
I think key to what you've said as well is people. And we can see behind us, so many members of the community have come out today to voice their appreciation of this particular development. So when we focus on people, tell us a bit more about the socio-economic spin-offs of such projects. I know you source local content, you try and use local contractors. Tell us a bit more about how the people benefit not only from the use of the infrastructure, but from the building of the infrastructure.
Well, generally in the standard condition of contract on these road projects, we insist that 30% of the funding should go locally. For instance, in this specific road, which is a road that cost the department 51 million rand, 10.7 million rand of that has been spent locally in sourcing material from local people. We have created a total of 223 jobs for the people here. In fact, I am briefed that the people here are saying the contractor should not be allowed to leave site even if he has finished, so that they then continue dealing with other access roads. There's a whole politics around that we cannot enter into at this moment. But reality is that the rate of unemployment in the province and in the country is quite unacceptable. Our approach to infrastructure development should be such that the beneficiary communities should actually we should create jobs for them. We should make sure that we leave skills for them here, so that when the project is done and finished, they can at least have certain skills which they can use to survive in the future. We are looking at this area in particular. For instance, we're doing the Rachiepan Road, which we are also handing over today. We're also doing the Maubane Carousel Road, which links us up to Limpopo. But we want to make sure that this area, which has been abandoned for quite a long time since the advent of democracy, also benefits from proper and quality infrastructure development projects. So all our projects, we do them with that methodology of making sure that we take our people along, we give them skills, but we also give them jobs so that they can continue their livelihood.
MEC, thank you so much for that information. We do appreciate your time. And thanks again for joining us here on Morning Live. And we're going to leave it there for now as we continue to take a look at the ripple effect, if you like, of this road. It's not just a road that links you from point A to point B. There's a whole lot of development that comes with it. So for now, we'll leave it there, but we'll continue with this discussion a little bit later.